Okay, so hunt for the Decepticon LockDown. Very neat figure. Transformation's pretty simple. It does roll. Okay. To start the thing, you won't pop that off. Once you go to the underside, want to flip both wheels and facing inward like so. Kind of like the little spikes. And they aren't really that soft or plastic. I mean, they're sort of soft, but they aren't like rubber, you know what I mean? And the best way I can explain it is you flip this little thing down and you pull this off. And you go to the other side and just pull off the other door assembly. You're left with something kind of like this. So then you want to flip this up. Oh, jeez. Well, basically, best way I could show it is that it's kind of like this. Okay, so once you have this, you want to split the hood of the car and you're left with this. And what you do is you completely flip it over and put these at the side of his hips. And you slide this down and they form the feet. So now he can stand. And he's like really that tall. I am probably going to need to get another one of my okay. So next thing you want to do is take the front of the car. You fold it down, and that's going to form his chest. You want to pull up the arm assembly towards at his shoulder area, and want to flip that down so that he has kind of this shoulder thing going on. So it's like that. That's not really to explain. Didn't really explain it that well, but it's kind of hard to explain for me. It's just kind of one of those things that you have to show and not really say too much about. And kind of rotate the head up a little. And here we have LockDown. My goodness, he's big. I think if and here we go. I do kind of think it's unfortunate that the forearm is so thin. It doesn't feel like it would break, but it's, you know, it's thin. But they do make it so that you give them like a cannon, and that does thicken it. Sincerely enough to where it's not really noticeable. It's nice. It has some crazy articulation. I'll show you what I mean. He has 2 joints in the neck. Both bulge, well, 3 joints. One that allows him to spin his head 360. A joint that moves up and down. And a 3rd joint that is attached to his head. That's pretty awesome. Finally, no, not finally, next it has 360 at both shoulders. Yeah, 360 at both shoulders. He has sort of some wrist articulation. Can make him look like he's scratching his head, which is kind of cool. He has a ball joint at the elbow. It gets slightly hindered by the door, I will give it that. And I want to show you this real closely. He has like a piston type thing going on in his arm. Can you see that? That's some pretty awesome detail that they didn't have to add, but they did. And the hook hand, take it or leave it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it, you know. He has two knee joints. He has an upper knee joint, which, yeah, like this. And then there's one that's kind of like this. And because of the transmission, he does have some ankles, but I don't know if he can actually use it. He does have hips. In fact, that goes out pretty far. You could probably get him into a pose where he's like, my god, I think you actually can if you do it just right. There you go. See? He does have kind of like a Mecha Live gimmick. It looks kind of like Bones. Cybernetic Bones. But, been kind of quiet because, there's not a whole lot that I can say about him. He's LockDown. He's freaking tall. Pretty good figure. Very few complaints about him, so would I pick it up? Definitely. Especially because of the awesome card mode. That is just too good to pass up. I want to just quickly go through the transformation in reverse for the people who might have a little bit of trouble. Biggest problem that I used to have with transforming this was getting the arms into place, especially from the fact that sometimes, like, to do the back, you have to do it just right. Like, you can't clip this part in until you clip it into this side, but once you have everything together, Actually, that's even impossible until you actually put the feet into place, which is kind of, it's one of those Transformers where you have to do the right thing at the right time. Like, you can't do one thing before the other. You know what I mean? But once you have everything figured out, and what I mean by that is, once you really have the hang of it, it's not that hard. You're just kind of flipping some pieces around, that's about it. And there's LockDown. I'll see you next time, people. My voice is a little hoarse, I will admit it, and I don't know why, but I'll see you next time.